Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Ruin of Kings by Jenn Lyons. The Ruin of Kings is the first book in A Chorus of Dragons quintet. We have talked about books 3 and 4 on the channel before, but the very last book, The Discord of Gods, is going to be available in 2 weeks, and so we're going to be revisiting and rereading the entire series in the next 2 weeks, starting with Book 1, The Ruin of Kings. So we'll have our drink for Ruin of Kings today, and then next week we'll have a new drink for Book 2, The Name of All Things, followed by revisiting of the drinks that we made for Books 3 and 4 last summer. So, should be a really good time. I'm very excited because then, in 2 weeks, we get to crown the entire series with our book review and drink for the final volume. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I've been deep in the reread, and I am having just the very best time. Because A Ruin of Kings is epic fantasy at its absolutely most epic. You have warriors and wizards and assassins and jungles and wonderful ruins, physical ruins as well as things that cause ruin, and a truly epic scale right from the beginning. You'd think early on, all right, maybe we're going to cause some problems for this empire that is apparent from just about page 1 is not the fairy tale kingdom that one might wish, but is in fact probably an evil empire. And then over the course of book 1, we find ourselves really easily in this grand cosmic battle for the very sake of the universe, and it all works. And you think, how is it going to get more nuanced and more complex from there? We're already at the scale of the universe. And then over the course of 4 more books, Jenn Lyons manages to do that. So, of course, we have to celebrate the entire series here because they are just that good. They are doing everything that epic fantasy should do, and doing it with a nuance and care that I don't see in a lot of other places. Just a tremendous amount of love for A Chorus of Dragons, and starting here with The Ruin of Kings. And The Ruin of Kings really introduces us to a lot of our core cast. We'll see a little more of that next week with The Name of All Things, but certainly our main character, Kieran, who is a thief and a harp player, a lost scion of a noble house, trained in deadly arts over the course of his life, and motivated by a personal vengeance that sort of grows as he comes to understand his place in the cosmos. And as part of the novel, he spends time on this magical training ground island for an order of assassins, held there by the attention and covetous desire of a dragon, which is what inspired this week's drink. So, without any further ado, why don't we turn to this week's drink and see how that's going to relate back to the book here. Our drink is called Sing for the Dragon. It is another aperitiki cocktail, blending those tropical flavors with the bittersweet as we do for the rest of the Chorus of Dragons menu, and as we'll see in these next couple of weeks. So we're going to start with our base spirit, using that blackstrap rum we like. We're using it in an accent in Book 3's drink. We're using it as our main here. So we're going to get an ounce of that. Excellent. So the dragon who inspired this drink, Sharanakal, called the Old Man, is basically a living volcano. And so in designing this drink, I really wanted to bring the fire, that sort of volcanic quality, to it. So we're going to have these sort of dark, pumice, lava-y colored things, and then we're really going to bring some fire, some of our other ingredients. So we've got 1 ounce of that blackstrap rum, and then we're going to get 3/4 of an ounce of dark creme de cacao. So dark chocolate, fruity notes, a touch of bitterness, of course, as you'd expect with a dark chocolate, but also a bit of sweetness as well. Just really wonderful sort of stone fruit quality. So we've got our dark rum and our creme de cacao in there. Next, we're going to bring 1/2 ounce of Campari, classic Italian bittersweet Amaro, bittersweet liqueur. We're going to get 1/2 ounce of that. Going to bring some red notes, some herbal notes to it, and it's really going to balance out a lot of our other flavors in there. The sort of driving idea of the Chorus of Dragons menu is that blending of those bittersweet, classic Amari sorts of ingredients with the more tropical. So we've got 1/2 ounce of Campari, 3/4 ounce of dark creme de cacao, and 1 ounce of the blackstrap rum. Now let's bring the fire. We're going to start with 1/2 ounce of hurricane-proof, overproof rum. As you've noticed, we've got some sweeter ingredients in there, and we're going to need to bring a bit more of a bite to that. So the overproof rum is balancing out some of the sort of sweeter, heavier notes of our previous ingredients, and it's going to be a little bit hot, that quality that we use to describe higher alcohol spirits. So really wonderful balance, bit of fire water in there. Next, we're going to bring a little bit, just 1/4 ounce of that Pratt Standard ginger syrup that we like, that really fiery, spicy ginger. Again, a little goes a long way with this stuff, so we basically only ever use 1/4 ounce at a time, but you're definitely going to feel that wonderful gingery bite in there. And then, just to finish things off, we are going to bring a bar spoon of our chili tincture, that Thai dragon chili. Wonderful. And you're going to feel that tingling on your lips in the back of your mouth over the course of the drink. So we've got all of our ingredients in our shaker, and then we're going to do our whip shake. So I've got crushed ice here in my canvas bag. Get just a little bit of that in there. Wonderful. You don't want a whole lot in there, because what the whip shake is doing is not so much diluting the drink as much as it's blending, mixing everything, and forming, working as a sort of agitation. And let me tell you, this is a series full of agitators. So we'll have our agitation cubes. Then we'll take our glass here, and we'll get some more crushed ice in there. Wonderful. Just about 2/3 or so of the way full to prepare our glass. Now, seal our tin, nice flat tap, and shake it up. And with the whip shake, you really don't need to shake all that long, because the ice is crushed. It's going to dilute really quickly, and we're going to add more ice to it anyway. So give that a good stout tap. There we go. You can see it cools down really quickly when you're doing the whip shake. And then, because we're doing our whip shake, we're just going to dump instead of dilute. Wonderful. Let that sort of sink down to the bottom. Yes. And then we'll get a little more crushed ice on top. Get that sort of snowy mountaintop, even if our volcano does not come quite high enough to have a snow cap on it. We still want that on our drink. Just a little bit more. Yes. nice and frosty on top, and you're all set. So, as you can see, we end up with this nice sort of reddish, lava-y quality to it, and we've definitely brought the heat in a nice balanced way with that crushed ice and some of those softer ingredients in there as well. I really can smell the ginger, a little bit of the spice. It just smells very lovely and tropical, and a little bit dark and intriguing, which I feel is appropriate to a book as wonderful as Ruin of Kings. So there you have it. This is Sing for the Dragon, an aperitiki cocktail inspired by the Ruin of Kings and by the dragon Shiranikal. The Ruin of Kings is available now. Got a link to get the book down below. The final book in the series is going to be available in 2 weeks. We'll be looking at the entire series in the meantime, in the lead up to the release. I've got links to the Boston Shaker for tools and ingredients, to Twitter and Instagram for written versions of today's recipes. As always, please try the drink. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about what we do here. Make the drinks for them at home. And until next time, cheers.